Welcome to the Power Foods Lifestyle Podcast. I'm Christy Joe, a certified fitness nutrition specialist, personal trainer, and weight loss specialist. I've been teaching the Power Foods Lifestyle since 2012, which is a system of principles you can use to design your own approach to strategic eating. My hope is that you will gain confidence as the strategist of your own health as you seek to power your body. Learn more and grab my awesome stuff to help you out more at powerfoodslifestyle.com. Today is episode 251, How to Eat Less Sugar. Now, I'm sure you already know that eating too much sugar is one of the worst things you can do for your health, right? Yet, even in spite of this knowledge, following through and disciplining ourselves can be quite the challenge. According to the Diabetes Council, the United States ranks as having the highest average daily sugar consumption per person, with Germany and the Netherlands tying for second and Ireland at third place. The Diabetes Council has a few other interesting facts on our sugar consumption I thought you would find interesting. In 1915, the average sugar consumption per person was 17.5 pounds. As of 2011, the number rose to 150 pounds of sugar per person annually. In 2016, the U.S. government recommended a person's daily added sugars intake to 10% of a day's total caloric intake. That means for a 2,000 calorie diet, a person should consume no more than 13.3 teaspoons of sugar in a day. So 10% of a 2,000 calorie diet is 200. How many grams is that? Well, sugar is a carbohydrate, which has 4 calories per gram. So we take 200 divided by 4 and we get 50. That's 50 total grams of sugar per day, which is the recommendation. Interestingly enough, for years as I coached clients, which by the way, I'm not currently coaching, but anyway, I want to share this with you. That was the goal, 50 grams of sugar per day as the topmost goal that I had for weight loss and lifestyle change clients to keep their sugar intake under. I found that for the majority of people, keeping their sugar intake between 30 and 50 grams of sugar per day accelerated their fat loss and they're feeling more energetic, alert, and powerful each day. So, do you know how many grams of sugar you're eating per day? I recommend that you track your food for 3 days in MyFitnessPal, Calorie Count, or any other macro tracking app and look at the total grams of sugar in a day you're consuming. All right, now back to those interesting facts on our sugar consumption. The number of fast food restaurants has doubled between 1970 to 2010. It has been found that added sugar and fatty food empty calories make up about 40% of the average American daily intake of calories. The American consumption of fructose, which is a type of sugar, has significantly jumped from 37 grams per day in the 1970s to a record high of 62.5 grams per day in the 2000s. Since the discovery of high fructose intake associated with fatty liver, increased plasma triglycerides, insulin resistance, and obesity, the U.S. government implemented various campaigns and regulations to lower the use of high fructose corn syrup. As of 2016, the U.S. fructose consumption has dropped to 41.4 grams per day per capita. Whew! At least it's down from 62.5, right? Now, really quick side note, where do we find high fructose corn syrup? I'm going to include a link to the full list in the show notes, but here are a few basics that you might be shocked to know. Pop-Tarts, stovetop stuffing, Capri Sun, Pepsi, Sprite, Powerade, ginger ale, Wonder Bread, many of Kellogg's cereals, Eggos, Lifesavers, Miracle Whip, Heinz Ketchup, Rice Krispie Treats, Nabisco and Nutri-Grain products, many of the popular cough syrups, Cool Whip, Yoplait yogurts, Mott's applesauce, Smucker's grape jelly, Kraft barbecue sauce, A1 steak sauce, and Lunchables, just to name a few. Now, of course, that's subject to change at any point in time as these companies make changes, so I'm recording this in late 2020. Seriously, just looking and hearing this list makes me sick. It's the manufacturers that have normalized the chemicals that are in our products and normalized their use of these products in our homes. Sure, it makes them taste great, so they sell more. But at what point does our health as a people matter more than these companies' profits? The answer is never, unfortunately. And you know it's true. So rather than trying to get companies to change, though I totally applaud those who have made that their mission, my goal is to empower you to find alternative solutions and power up what you normalize in your life. So yes, we have challenges facing us of products being packed with not just high fructose corn syrup, but sugar in general. Here are a few additional reasons why our sugar consumption is up. Sugar releases dopamine, a chemical in the brain, which helps us feel awesome when we feel heavy stuff in our lives. Things like stress, sadness, despair, anger, loneliness, exhaustion, etc. Do any of those emotions sound familiar? Many of us are in survival mode. I mean, just look at 2020 and all of the different difficult things that are upon us as families and individuals. Sugar is a quick hit of energy and comfort. Blood sugar levels rise and fall. When we eat high sugary, high carb foods, that blood sugar goes up and then quickly drops. When you have falling blood sugar, your body will naturally turn on sugar cravings to normalize that blood sugar. But does it usually normalize it? No, it's going to spike it right back up if we eat those high sugar, high carb foods. So now, having gone through all that, before I get into my solutions, I'd like to address just a few of the quick, frequently asked questions I get quite a bit. You probably already know the answers to this, and maybe it'll just be a good reminder, but maybe this is entirely new information for you. Is the sugar in fruit bad? Now, I have an entire podcast on this. That is episode 91, which you can find over at powerfoodslifestylepodcast.com if you can't find it on your regular iTunes or Spotify feed. But I'd love to summarize this for you. The sugar in fruit is primarily fructose. Fructose has to go through a process in the liver called fructolysis so that it resembles glucose, so that your body can better utilize that sugar. Your liver can only handle so much fructose at a time. So while I wouldn't recommend you go out and eat an entire watermelon, is it necessarily going to make you quote unquote fat? No, especially if the bulk, whenever I say bulk, I'm usually referring to the 80 to 90% principle. The bulk of your intake is around power foods, basic, good, healthy, wholesome, regular foods that are produced by the earth, including the high quality animal products that I do advocate for. So no, sugar in fruit is not bad. However, when we are, number one, aware of different conditions that our body has, perhaps you have a great sensitivity to sugar. So many of my clients I have had to put in ketosis or do low carb due to the fact that any sugar at all disrupted a great sense of balance and harmony in their body. Every body is different. Every single body is different. You have to realize that. And so instead of seeking to understand a general consensus of what is right or wrong, if we can even use those very strong labels, it's about understanding what is right for your body and truly taking that personal investigative journey, which is why I advocate for you becoming a strategist of your own health. So while your friend may be able to eat 2 bananas and that works for their body because they're a runner, because the balance of their food and their total daily caloric and macronutrient intake is right for their body, that doesn't mean that you can also eat 2 bananas. Perhaps your body is going to do better if you only ate half a banana and it was really some of the only carbohydrates you had in a day. So let's not label fruit as bad. Fruit is wonderful. It contains many antioxidants and vitamins that are important for our bodies. So seek to understand what is best for your body. And the only way to do that is through education and then trial and error. Secondly, is the sugar in vegetables bad? I cannot tell you how many people have been mind blown to see me write carrots and sugar snap peas into their weight loss food plan. And they're like literally mortified. Like, what the heck kind of nutritionist are you? I mean, they would never say that to my face, but education, my friends. If you are truly worried about those 3 to 4 grams of sugar when the rest, the 80 to 90% of your power foods are comprising your diet, we have some issues. It's hierarchy of importance. If you are being so strict with your intake that you can't enjoy a variety of natural, wholesome power foods, particularly in the vegetable category, quick assertion here, yes, for some people, nightshades. For some people, different types of vegetables will trigger certain health conditions. So yes, again, it's that individual journey. But for the majority of people, the sugar in vegetables, that should be the absolute bottom of the barrel, least of your worries. So eat your carrots, don't eat the whole bag. Don't make it like your M&M consumption substitute. Let's learn some temperance. Let's learn some moderation. Let's learn why we're triggering these obsessive habits. I mean, it's really a deep dive journey. Okay, I think I've beat on that drum enough. So no, sugar in fruit is not bad. No, sugar in vegetables is not bad. Whew, now that we've had that conversation, how to eat less sugar. Start getting familiar with just how much sugar you're eating, like I talked about before. What foods contribute to that higher amount? It is so mind-boggling for people when they track their food for the first time. I know it's not a desirable activity for the majority of people. It feels like you're being obsessive. It feels like you are like you're hyper obsessing about something that shouldn't be. But here's my question. If you were trying to get out of debt, and I did a podcast on this recently, how losing weight and being a little bit more diligent and strategic with your food is very much like a financial budget. You wouldn't just be like, well, I don't know where my money goes. No, you would sit down, you'd look at your checking account, you'd look at your credit cards, you'd say, where is my money going? You have to understand the output of your money and simultaneously the input of the food you're putting in your body to understand how it's coming out. So track your food. 2 or 3 days is really oftentimes enough to get at least some awareness and clarity in where some of those problem behaviors lie. Deepak Chopra, who is one of my favorite mindfulness and meditation people, has said, awareness is all about restoring your freedom to choose what you want instead of what your past imposes on you. Secondly, eat more protein and fat at meals. You can easily do this as you strategize a PVF meal, as I talk about in the Power Foods Lifestyle. What is a PVF meal? It's where you have a source of protein for the P, a vegetable for the V, and fat for the F. Now, the portion sizes for the protein, the vegetables, and the fats pretty simple once you learn to look at your nutrition label. A typical range for a protein serving is 15 to 30 grams of protein. For fat, 8 to 12 grams of total fat. And then vegetables, usually 1/2 to 2 cups. So think 1 or 2 fists. Next is don't keep sugary products in the house. Keep some stevia handy to make your own treat if or when you feel that urge. A few ideas from my new low-carb cookbook include apple pie shake, avocado ice cream, berry yum mug cake, chocolate candy bar shake, chocolate fudge bombs, chocolate zucchini bread, coconut berry blast, cookie dough freezer balls, late night apple crisp, low-carb almond joy, and the PB avocado creamy shake. You can grab that digital download cookbook over at powerfoodslifestyle.com. Just a reminder, my publisher is selling all of my products right now, so don't be alarmed if the site looks a little bit different than you're used to. I have taken a gigantic step backward and am only involved in podcasting currently as I have chosen #momlife over business life. I have really appreciated your support and encouragement as I have made this choice for my family and what I felt was best for me. Again, I just want to remind you, the site is legit. I have had a few people reach out and say, I think you got hacked, but my publisher is Scene Company, so it is totally legit. You can get that download over at powerfoodslifestyle.com. It'll redirect you to that site. Next is don't shop when you're hungry or emotional. I like to meal plan on paper first, then I use the grocery pickup option, so I shop online and just pick it up. This is great for moms of young ones like me, but also for busy people working, just don't have the time to go shop, as well as those with compromised health who are trying to lay low with COVID going on right now. Get enough sleep for your body and prioritize and minimize your life. Now, I know this is a really difficult one. I've been on my own journey the past 6 months to do this, which is one of the reasons I ended up choosing Mom Life. And I wanted to share a few resources that really made a big difference for me as I sought to find solutions step by step, day by day. One of the podcasts is called The Minimalists. They have a show on Netflix and also a wonderful podcast, and then Buddhist Boot Camp. That's a podcast. Now, you know I'm Christian, but I find the teachings to be so much a part of my core values and beliefs in becoming and taking that personal journey to progression mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So I've just really enjoyed both of those podcasts in conjunction with my regular religious studies and personal development that I just like to do. So the journey to prioritize and minimize your life and really find what is driving you? What are your motives to why you do all you do? Why you're so busy? Why you're so stressed? And it's such an individual journey. There is no one solution for any of us that can be applied to everybody. So I just want you to understand that your journey is unbelievably connected to your food choices. So I just want to encourage you to start or continue your own journey. I hope today's podcast has given you a few ideas. I encourage you to read my new book, Low Carb for the Tired, Aching, Busy, and Overwhelmed. I wrote it as a how-to manual to help you dive right into solutions. If you know you need to go low carb, whether it's your sugar intake's too high, whether you have a health condition, whether you have chronic pain like myself, whatever your reason is, and you really feel that push, I need to do this, I encourage you, go read the book. I wrote it so actionably, is that a word? So that you could just get right to finding those solutions. I don't know if you're like me, but I've read so many books that I'm just by the 6th chapter, I'm are we getting to any meat yet? Give me the solutions. I'm so sick of all this fluff and background and science. Like, give me. So that's how I wrote this book. The principles you will learn there are powerful and actionable as you make the decision to go low carb. I believe in you. I'm rooting for you. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not capable of making change happen, especially yourself. Step into your power and become a strategist of your health. You are amazing. Power your body, one meal, one workout, and one day at a time. By the way, I so appreciate the new reviews on the podcast. Thank you for taking 1 minute from your day to help others find this podcast, for which I receive no compensation and place no ads. You are the reason I do this. Go right now to your phone, hit the share button, and send to one person who you think is ready to learn more and step into her power more too. We can't change the world, but we can influence one person at a time.